So how did you initially come up with the idea or inspiration for the podcast?
Ooh.
Or describe to me the basis of the podcast first.
Okay, basis of the podcast. It's a basketball and sneaker podcast or podcast and show. Basketball and sneakers have such a history intertwined together. We're bringing it together, best of both worlds. There's no, the NBA isn't as big if there's no Jordans. And then Jordans obviously aren't a thing if there's no NBA. It's the best of both worlds, really.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. I got Jordans on right now, so you're right about that. All right, so how did you come up with the name for the show?
I got to credit my friend Paige. She was the one that kind of gave me the inspiration. I had the idea for the show itself for a little bit of time now. I'll also give Peyton some credit too. If you guys don't know Peyton, he's a director of Blaze Sports right now. I kind of started brainstorming the name at that point. I really didn't have anything good. I talked to my friend Paige. She's like, what about 94 feet? Just because that's the length of a basketball court, kind of tying in feet, shoes, sneakers, all that stuff. So I thought, I think that's a solid name in itself. So we came up with that. Danny made a fantastic logo for it. So that's the way we came up with the name.
And how do you think being a part of Blaze, like you talked about, is going to help you in your career going forward?
I mean, Blaze has given us a platform to, it's like real life experience. We treat it like a real radio show. It's a real radio studio. It feels like I'm a radio host. I know it's not like actually on the radio. It's live streamed through a website, but it feels like legit, and we take it serious, and it's great. Yeah.
So what do you think, like outside of the light research of the podcast, that maybe people don't know about a podcast to either prepare or to put out that content?
I think just the biggest thing is that it really is a lot of work. I feel like, I don't know, this might just be me, but I feel like you always see people wanting to get into podcasts and just talk about their own lives or whatnot, and like what is going on with them, or maybe even just a topic in general. But people don't recognize that it's way more to it than just going on behind a mic and just talking for 30 minutes. You have to have a personality. You have to be incredibly knowledgeable about what you're talking about. You have to have a point of view that somebody else maybe hasn't recognized or hasn't seen to get those viewers in, because if you're lacking any of those things, nobody's going to listen. Nobody's going to pay attention to it. And to be completely honest with you, we're still young enough and we're still inexperienced enough to we're probably still making a lot of those same mistakes.
What are your future plans for the podcast going forward?
We're trying to expand it. We're gonna start doing new TikTok content. We're trying to go outside, grow outside of Blaze. Trying to build our own brand. We're gonna be doing content over summer. Still, we're early stages, but definitely big things coming for sure.
And what do you think is the ultimate goal with the podcast? Is it just something as a hobby that you're doing, or is there a goal for something greater?
Honestly, that's a good question. I've thought about this, Kate. I don't know where you sit on this, but I really want this to be like my kind of my brand almost, sneakers, basketball. That's the goal, I would say. For Kate and me and Kate to have our own thing that maybe we can do as a job one day. That would be tight.
So really the end goal for me is just have as much fun with it as I can and try getting as much experience as I can out of it. But at the same time, in the back of my head, I'm thinking that if we end up making a great product out of this and we know that we can go farther with it in the future, why not make it into something that I can turn into my career? That'd be something I'd love to do. Danny mentioned in his interview that's something he'd really enjoy doing. Really just developing that brand. And if I've got the chance to do it, I'm going to do it. The most important part is about having fun about it. That's the main priority I have. But at the same time, I'm still looking at doing everything I can to get the viewers as into it as possible and try expanding as much as I can to get more viewers out there. And I feel like that's obviously the hardest part, just because, what Danny and I are doing, it's not necessarily unique in the sense of talking about sneakers and shoes and all that. But at the same time, in a sense, it also is, because I don't think there's two other college students in the country who are actually have the radio time to go on a show and actually talk about this stuff for 30 minutes while also trying to put the content out for YouTube and TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, all that stuff. So obviously, I'd love to be able to try branding us way more, but at the same time, it's just having fun with it, and just make the best of it.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
There we go.
Peace.